my kako, everyone. Welcome to the Moana Nui Podcast. It is December, and I can't believe it, but here we are. Hope everyone's doing well and had a good Thanksgiving as we head into the thick of the holiday season. My name is Moana, host and founder of the Moana Nui Podcast. Tonight, we are kind of launching a new segment of the podcast called Moana After Dark, where we talk about some of the, do some reviews on some of our favorite TV shows, movies, and kind of break it down here on the show. We invite some friends to come on and be here with us, and we get to, kind of go back and forth and just, get in there about these stories and these movies. This week, we're particularly talking about the Apple TV series called See, S-E-E, starring Jason Momoa and Alfre Woodard and a bunch of amazing actors here on this particular show. But before we jump into that, I just have a couple quick, well, maybe just one major announcement. For those who have not seen some of my posts and things, and maybe you're not on the email list, we currently have a Kickstarter running right now, which is, for those who are not familiar with Kickstarter, it is a crowdfunding platform that you can use to help raise funds for your projects. Our second book in our children's book series, The Adventures of Nakoa and Nohea, Shadows of the Ancient is the name of the second book, and it is up live now. There's 2 weeks left in the campaign, and we are about almost 60% to our goal. So if you want to check that out, moanatheauthor.com. We definitely appreciate your support to help that project come to life so we can tell stories about Hawaii and help impact the schools, particularly in Hawaii and, in other parts of the country. So thank you all so much for that. If you've already supported it, and if you haven't, go check it out and see if there's something for you and your family. Alrighty. So with that said, I want to bring my wonderful panelists on. First up, we have Stephanie Yong-Pratt. She is a sales professional and upcoming business owner. Secondly, we have Simone Dejean, and sis, let me know if I said that wrong. She is a cloud engineer and a Blerd geek and cosplayer. And last, but certainly not least, my other half, Nuri McAdams, CEO of Burning Spear LLC, writer and creator of the Wildcard Chronicles comic book series, and of course, a U.S. Marine veteran. So let's bring them on. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hey.
Hello. Aloha.
Hey. Thank you so much for being on with us tonight. I'm excited to talk about this series because I think it's an amazing one. And spoiler alert for those of you who have not seen See yet, we are going to be going into detail. But I think it's good. Even if you haven't seen it yet, we're going to spoil it, but it'll probably make you want to see it more. So let's see. So we're just going to dive in. I know Stephanie and Simone are super excited to talk about this. So
what's season 2?
Yes. So I'll give a quick premise on what is See. So for those who haven't seen it yet. So this is a series that's set in the future, and essentially the human race has lost all sense of sight, hence the word See. And the society has had to find new ways to interact, to build, to hunt, to survive, essentially to live. And then it all gets challenged when a set of twins is born and they can see. So, Stephanie, you want to give us a kickoff on where you want to take us?
Ooh, okay. So, of course, in preparation, I had to do a rewatch. And of course, when you do that, all kinds of other little nuggets come up. So I guess that, the biggest thing is everyone should see this for very important reasons, obviously environmental and whatnot. But we've now seen 2 seasons. Okay, so when you start to see those little personality portions, or you finally find out a certain actor that you seeing them develop over 2 seasons, but then also recognizing some of these all actors of color that you are in other productions is just exciting. So, you know, I start to geek out because I feel represented.
Yes.
Hello. Like when you dig into the actors, let me just I won't rant, but it's just the fact that there are how many biracial actors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy as I can't. So I mean, that really, you start to sit there and think about Jonathan Tropper and different things that you know, for Warrior fans carrying over. You see a certain style, and even digging into some of the actors, finding out some of their feelings of season 1 versus season 2, right? And just different little nuances that you just really realize Jonathan Tropper has a style. And he has that first season that sort of gets you like, okay, you dig in, and then wham, he gets you a season 2. Yeah. And then there's something just like, okay. So that was my sort of overarching geek fest of, you know, I feel represented. It's badass, and it has all these important messages and actually puts people to work. I love it. So, I mean, that was like my little, you know, my 2 cents. But let me see.
Yes, the women that are in it that I love, you know. Yes, of course, Jason. He's the reason why I'm watching it. It's just because it's Jason. I didn't care who else was in it, but you know, Jason's movie. I need to see him. I watched it. I'm just, oh my God, this man is badass even when he can't see. He was and blind. I'm like, okay, Jason, I'm loving it. It's like, yes, okay. And then you have all these other amazing actors and actresses that are in it, and it's not just the men. It was heavy with the women, and I like that. So
you know
that I love
Yadira, the Shadow.
Yes. Oh yeah, she was really cool. Yeah.
I mean, again, that's
she was heavy. She was heavy in season 1. She was very light in season 2, but very important in season 2.
Yes, no, and see, notice how you just laid that out. I love that. But I mean, the things that I forgot about, because it's been, you know, a little bit, you know, since we saw season, you know, that first season, was that war strategy and everything. Now we know that he, you know, he's a builder. So that first episode, the whole thing about the wall and the rocks, it was just pretty insane, because you're seeing all these other strategies that this is supposed to be in the future, but you're seeing old medieval strategies. You're seeing all kinds of things. And it's just interesting. It's all intriguing because you're watching, because the premise is they're not supposed to be able to see. So my brain picks it apart, thinking the amount that went into the production of this to get this right is insane. That's insane to me. The amount of details, the body language of Jason Momoa, you know, is that, you know, all
oh
of
my
his
God.
That the rest is, it looks like wrestling influences, all the things that, because he's tall, he has to be down like this. So you're almost thinking he's crouching half the time.
Yes.
So all of the little things that you're picking up on as you're now, you know, the story's starting off, you're like, it's like my attention is all over the place. And part of the reason, you know, leading up to this, because I do babble. I know I babble. This is the homage. So I got the weapon in my hair ready to just say something. So having the long hair, having, you know, all of the features, all of those things that are really relevant for me. I'm not used to watching a series that has so many things that are relevant to me, that hit, you know, home and you know, wait a minute. I'll want to use my hair stick as a weapon sometime and just like Jason Momoa. Again, there's that undercover MMA fighter in me that Simone says I should be in.
But that's also the queen too, when she's taking out her little.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So I know, like, Nuri and I have talked about that scene, and I know he has a lot he wants to say about the fighting style too. So I wanted Kim to weigh in here a little bit. I saw your face over there.
Yeah.
That was my Geek Out Festive. Like, I watched it again, and it, again, now that leads right to, okay, now we go into fighting. So now tell me, what did you see? What did you think?
Well, I think the defining moment was when we first realized that Baba Voss is a slaver. And when you find out that, it kind of hits you, but then at the same time, it happens at a pivotal moment. It's like, okay, this is who I am, but we got to table that because I got to use what I was to protect my family. So that's when I think there's a reason why it works, because you can't put just anybody in that scene and it worked. I'm gonna tell you why Jason Momoa was able to pull it off and pull it off well. When they were fighting, when his family is taken by the slavers, he has to go and get his children from
season
the slaves.
1. Yes,
which is season 1. So the reason why it works, and I've always been a big thing, this has always been big to me when I'm watching movies, is like, for instance, we all know Training Day, right? With Denzel Washington. The plot wasn't extravagant. The reason why it worked, and the reason why it's such an iconic role for Denzel Washington is, during the plot twist blew you away, because never in a million years could you imagine that Denzel was the bad guy. That's why it worked. So when Jason Momoa goes into that fight scene, the reason why it works so much is because the way he moves, he's digging into tribal ancestry. You can't teach that. You either have it or you don't. It's like a boxer with hand speed. Either you have it or you don't. You take a Polynesian warrior, African warrior, they're digging into that culture to pull that out, and he puts it down very well on screen, on top of having to play blind. And that scene in that little warehouse or wherever they are when they were fighting, the way he moved, because like I said, the thing that makes the show great is everybody's blind. So the writers had a hell of a task pulling that off, because everybody has to play blind so we can see, we know what's going on. But you got to remember, nobody in there can see. So things that I'm picking up on, when we first see him really go hand to hand, and he's moving around and they're moving around, and he gets up on them. And me being Marine Corps infantry, I love all this stuff. So he gets up on them. He's doing things, and he's making it look so good, so tribal. But there's a purpose. There's a method to his madness. Why is he hitting him to the neck and going all the way around the neck? Because he understands in order to make that kill, he has to almost near decapitate him. Because remember, he can't see him. So there's only jugular here. So he has to make sure he hits those points. But
also a very specific weapon. Okay, because that had the handle on either side, and then the sharpness right in the middle.
Exactly. So he could move that thing around. And Jason is good at it. No, not too many actors can pull that off. But
and that's what he had to say to his son when in season 2, when he was trying to explain to his son, is like, okay, you can't see a kill, you got to feel it.
Feel that kill.
Yeah. JD said Nuri is scaring me a little. He's a Marine. Hey, that's what they train you to do.
Yeah, that's why I tell people it's not easy. People think that's an easy thing. TV tries to make it look so easy. It's not easy to kill a man one-on-one. It's not easy to do.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up that scene, because I rewound and even because when you forget that something happened, and then all of a sudden a certain line comes up again, and I had to rewind 4 times. And okay, wait a minute, did he just say something Hawaiian? And I forgot. I totally forgot. And I rewound, and I'm like, oh, he wanted to boil the man's head, and it was Maori. And I'm like, I totally forgot about that. And then for Weck to respond back, I mean, at Battle Cry, it gave me chills all over. Or the fact that in the beginning, that very first scene, he's doing haka.
The haka.
Yes.
You are.
I mean, I'm like, my mind is blown because they're incorporating all of these things. Okay. And the fact that, again, my mind goes off into who's represented a lot too. So you have Yadira, who plays Shadow, and she's half Asian, but she plays the daughter of someone Native American. So I mean, again, the genes are insane because there's the Austronesian migration, all of these things that are the genetic similarities that, hey, we're cousins and we're cousins and we're cousins. How many, back? So it's just, that's when I saw that part, the language portion, I had no idea what he was saying, but it was so badass. And then the battle cry backwards. And that guy's been in a lot too. He was in Van Helsing. But the guy with the nose, Weck, right? So that part I had to rewind and record it just so that I could save it for prosperity. Because he's half covered in blood, and then takes his sword and didn't even do anything, but then did the flick to splatter the blood and know where his opponent was. Like those details are insane.
Yes.
What's standing out?
You guys noticed that I looked at their eyes I never really bothered to look at their eyes in season 1, but season 2, I was looking. Everybody's eye color is different. Did you notice that? It's like some are white, some are yellowish, some are dark, not dark, but like a light blue. They're all different. And I was trying to put it together to see if it was because of where they were living. I didn't,
See, I think it's simpler than that. I think it's the contacts going over different people's eye colors. So if you look at Magra and then you look at, Sibith, Queen,
that's true.
You can see that like Magra's look blue, Sibith's look yellow, but it looks like it could really be contacts over brown eyes versus blue.
Yeah,
like like that, because it's opaque. So I think that's what it is. But
it would be cool if there was like an identifying, thing with it, like, oh,
that's what I was trying to do. Like the sisters, theirs was lighter, and even the one she married, his was light too, compared to Baba and Ito and all of them. It was, I need to go back and look and see. Really look into it.
Yeah, definitely.
And send them an email. I need to reach out to them.
I must know.
Is there an eye there going on? I really need to ask them that.
He played in Sleepy Hollow.
Yes.
Oh, you talking about Tom Mice?
Love him.
Yeah, he's Ichabod Crane. I used to love that show.
So it was great to see him.
I like his character a lot
too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's just, you know what I really noticed? He has a really sharp nose. It is so razor sharp. Every single time, because he had, you're looking at his face because again, they're blind, so the expressions are different and how they listen is different, and then you have that nose.
Yeah, the attention to detail and like in terms of like really understanding the experience of a person who has no sight, to me was like one of the most impressive things about this series, because it just shows just like how much in-depth work they put into like really bringing this reality to life. And I don't know, like a lot of the things I kind of think about it more deeply, and I'm like, man, imagine really though if like nobody could see, like how would we really survive, communicate, interact?
We rely too much on
the sight,
on sight, and when you lose your sight, your other senses are heightened, and you learn how to use them. But we are the sighted people are weak compared to people who
they prove it because into the second season where he was basically showing what Toad was showing, you're not prepared. Showing you can handle yourself. But even in the beginning when they were little, and Magra's telling the story about really the 4 different senses and vision.
Yeah.
And so watching again, I forgot, again, little details you forget about. And that is such an important story. And basically saying that, if you didn't have vision, you don't know who's ugly or who's beautiful.
Right. And
see, Nuri, when you was talking about him fighting, right? Do you remember in season 1 where Jordan Morel told him to come to him or whatever, and he had to, it's like he created, I don't want to say a map, but he created a path. Remember that he had to climb down, and then he had to move rocks, and it's like once he told him to find him or meet him in a certain spot, it's like he went over a mountain, he went over a river, the whole town or the whole city tribe had to follow this particular path.
Exactly.
Where he went. And it's like, okay, you built this bridge out of a ladder. You know, it's like you did all of this blind, and then you got all of these people coming with you. That was one of my favorite scenes in season 1.
Yeah. Season 1, the difference between, like, I didn't think they could get any better. Like, I was like, okay, season 1 was really good. And then season 2 came and they upped the ante. I mean, even Baba Voss took on more of a samurai leader role.
But he kept saying that he's not a fighter. Dude, you're lying.
I know, right?
You are a fighter. You're a warrior. Exactly. You are a soldier. Stop saying that. You are
fighting and owning it.
Why do you think my Asian genes are screaming? Wait, and I even looked it up, and Kofun and Haniwa are Japanese words. I'm Chinese, but still, like, I mean, the man bun and the fact that even what he's wearing in season 2, I'm like, again, TMI, but my dad was white, and he is the one who actually was Buddhist, and he was the one who went to Hawaii. So I swear, like, how he was dressed with the man bun is my dad. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. All right. Right. There are so many things here culturally that you can pick up on, and the influences and the language, just, it's just amazing. There's so much to absorb, but watching Jason Momoa's emotions in this were key.
Yes.
Oh my God, his emotions was all over. He took you with him. You felt it. You felt everything, no matter what it was. When he was in pain, and Paris was like, oh my God, she was amazing. I loved her better in season 2 than season 1. She really showed. Okay, so for all of you who haven't seen it yet,
all right?
Yeah, I'm trying to because I don't know who's seen what. So
I don't care. Y'all should have watched it.
Yeah, you have more than enough time. Yes.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed that we might lose Paris. I'm hoping that it just might be a sore throat.
But there needs to be some major catalyst. And that we've got that psycho queen, former queen, crazy. She does, that actress does such a good job of playing crazy. She's foaming at the mouth.
When I tell you Game of Thrones came into my mind so many times, that is a Cersei reborn or pre-Cersei. Oh my God, that woman. Just, you love to hate her. Yeah. Love to hate her.
And I mean, the fact that it's I need to pray.
Yeah, she really does her job well, because she is, even her voice. Oh my God, I can't stand the sound of her voice. One thing about another thing about Jason's performance, and I don't know if it was, when the writers went into implementing it, that with Jason, because he does crouch a lot. He does. And one thing I believe, because like Moana and I, we met Jason. The reason why he does it, Jason is massive.
He's that tall.
Man,
when I first seen him, when he first got, I was like, Jesus, dude is huge. Like he is mad, dude. He dwarfs everybody. So for him to be crouching like that, I was like, yeah, I understand why. Because
that's just to be the same height as regular people.
Yeah,
exactly. Vision-wise, I mean, if
when I went to shake his hand, I was like, he shook my hand. I was like, geez, this guy's got some paws on him.
That brings one thing to mind was the difference in the intro for season 1 and season 2.
Yes.
So that was so interesting, the intro and the credits, you have all these, all of the different web and, you have all these formations. But then season 2 to obviously have it be his hand.
Yes.
That's just badass. It's just like the way it stretches out, it's just expressive, but it's just a hand. And it's Jason Momoa's hand.
Yes. No, I'm glad you guys touched on the expressions too, because that was one of the things that I'm, when Nuri and I talked about it, I was like, his expressions, like if there was any question about whether or not this man can act, I think you can put those to bed.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But we can't slack on Bautista because,
dude.
That man can do evil, and I'm gonna need him and Jason to do some more shows together.
Yes,
I'm gonna need them to bring Bautista. Well, he's in the MCU, but I don't like his character. I'm gonna need them to bring him. Yeah, I'm gonna need them to bring him over to DC.
Well, Bautista
on Guardians is what really, that is so memorable. Yeah. And when he laughs at one point in the series, I'm like, all right, again, back to the API representation. I'm like, to have the two of them battle, okay? Two biracial Asian and Pacific Islanders, I'm geeking out. I'm completely geeking out, okay?
Well, Bautista,
they're badass.
Yes, they are. Bautista is, he's been very outspoken recently. Mm-hmm. He loves Jason Momoa so much that Bautista said that he wants to do an action cop Lethal Weapon style drama with him and Jason being partners. I'm like, yeah, I can buy that.
I can buy that. I need them to be evil though. I don't need them to be good. I need them to be evil, or I need them to be on opposite ends to where Jason is good and Bautista is bad. Yeah. And they're going after each other. That's what I need.
Yeah, you want to hit a poly home run. You put Jason Momoa, The Rock, Roman Reigns in one movie with Bautista. That's a poly home run. I don't think all that testosterone, one screen can't hold all that testosterone.
I mean, I'm
also a poly home run. I tell you.
Yes.
The goofball side of them. Can you just imagine the set with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista? I mean, they must have been so comical. I can just imagine every shenanigan, every joke, every prank, you name it. And because I just imagine them having so much fun.
Yeah.
And that second season is what did it for me for Bautista, because I already, am such, more of a new fan. But
Dave is good.
He's so mushy about his dog. He's just adorable. Okay. He's just adorable and badass, and he is real. Okay. Then to see him in this, especially given their dynamics, for, again, don't want to tell too much, but he is, it's really nice to see him go from that. What was it? What was he, MMA? What was it?
No, he was wrestling. He came
wrestling. Yeah, wrestling.
To this, it's just kind of nothing. It's not shocking, but just seeing the quality and seeing the same thing, it was both of their emotions. Like they got you in each scene that you get drawn in by both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when at the end, it's like you know that he didn't want to do that, and it's like, I'm like, dude, don't make me. And I realized that he was the bigger brother. Like, please don't make me. Please don't. I love you. Please don't make me. Please. But hard ass Bautista not listening. But that bridge fight, amazing, amazing.
So
but that's what brought me
the scar.
Oh, see, they never told that story.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that was Baba did that for him, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was him.
Exactly. That kind of like, you don't know. So that makes it actually really intriguing because you don't know if his own brother did it to him. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we know that he left because his brother, he didn't want to kill his brother because his father was like, kill your brother.
Yeah.
And he was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Question. Did you guys notice that I feel like Kofun was stronger in season 1? Like he had more balls in season 1.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Thank you, because I was about to say, dude, you a wimp. I'm gonna need you.
Yeah, I know.
Because honey, what? When I say
that's
dude,
my girl.
You didn't give birth to that child. That's not your child, but that is your child because she was embodying you, Baba. She was all you. You couldn't tell her, you can't come with me, you can't do this. She's like, I'm not trying to hear you. We're going. This is what we're gonna do. And she was fighting. She was a better fighter than he was. I'm like, okay, what?
Yeah, he's real feminine.
Like he actually had some kills in the first season. So like, was he just traumatized? But he lost steam, or maybe they just did that so that Haniwa could have a different focus because she had the love interest this time, and she was badass too. She keeps reminding me of someone.
You talking about Haniwa or
Lieutenant? Was it Bautista's lieutenant?
Win from
I don't know what show though. It's her. It's her eyes, and I can't picture what
beautiful
I know her from, but her eyes.
I mean, she's pretty strong too, but she can't hold a candle to Haniwa, in my opinion. No. Yeah.
But notice how that happened pretty quick. Haniwa she threw it at her. I'm like, you can see, you're not fooling me.
So, okay, did you guys see the Eternals?
I have not.
No.
Okay.
Somebody was talking to me about the Eternals today.
See, okay. Now, when I say this, and when you see the Eternals, you're going to understand.
Okay.
So the relationship between Toad and Paris.
Uh-huh.
You felt that. You loved that, right? That's what made me think of Thena and Gigamesh. Those things, Gigamesh. I think he had a relationship with Thena. So when you finally see the Eternals and you see that relationship, it's going to remind you of Toad and Paris.
I posted about our live stream. Someone I know just commented under the thread, Toad. I can't.
Yeah, I can't. I'm still traumatized.
Yeah.
Like that was the one character. I was like, no, I love him so much.
And that was a Dobby moment for me. That was one of my Harry Potter. Oh my God! When I lost Hedwig and I lost Dobby, when I lost Toad and Paris, those are the two that was like, oh no, please don't do that.
Can we discuss, the weapon that did some people in, the Queen's, can you imagine what the person would go through to have that? The scarring to have a pocket with that sharp
in your skin that you had to.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Branding that they did and scarring, which makes sense if you can't see, then that's actually obviously identifiers, But then to think about how she would have subjected herself to that in order to have that secret weapon. She's crazy.
Oh yeah, she's cuckoo.
Yeah.
Beyond cuckoo.
You hate her.
Yes. You hate her, but at the same time you love her because that's her job, just to make you hate her. Like you have to evoke that like response from the audience. It has to be polarizing because otherwise then it's lukewarm and everybody's like, meh, what are you adding to the story? Don't love you, don't hate you. You can die for all I care.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is also, I think, that's why the season 2 ended the way it did, because now they needed us to have something bad happen to us. Like this is going to be traumatic. It's going to be traumatic.
I'm already traumatized. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I think
that he's not there. Like he went on a vision quest.
Who? You talking about Baba Boss?
Yes, yeah. I'm like, dude, where the hell are you going? Where are you going?
That's not really his.
That ended the only way it could end.
Yeah.
In order to keep us interested for season 3, I'll tell you why. Because when it was all said and done, everybody was already in place to do what they need to do in that particular kingdom. There was nothing left for him because technically those children aren't his.
Yeah.
His wife is married to the ruler of that land.
Mm-hmm.
He had to leave because he is an alpha male. What is he going to sit back?
Yep.
Your wife married to the king, and you just you gonna be his general? You gonna serve him? No, that's not happening. I would have left too. I'm an alpha male. I'm out. I'm gonna do my own thing. Because you can't build him as this tribal leader. All the time he's saving his tribe from annihilation. In one of the greatest battle scenes I've ever seen choreographed, he gives the rah-rah speech. No, that man's not serving under anybody. He's like Conan. He's going to find his own kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Nuri, you remember that speech? What that was another Game of Thrones speech from the what was it the water, the Blackwater.
Oh, you're talking about
where Tyrion was like, those are brave men and women out there. Let's go kill them. And you got Baba, who's like, don't let them knock the door down. Let's open up the door and bring them into hell.
That's that Lord of the Rings type stuff. That's the Rohan.
Bring it on. Let's go.
We're going to hit them straight on.
Let's welcome them to hell.
I love it. We ain't going to sit here and wait. We're going to give them everything we got. We're going to take that hill or die trying. That's just our mentality. So, that man's not going to serve under anybody. He's not. He's a born leader. He's not going to sit around and play second fiddle while his wife married to some king and they do it. No. I'm out. I'm gone. Going to do my own thing.
So now that Jordan Morel is dead, and Ito is dead, his son shouldn't have to do work.
Yeah.
For that person that left him. I'm like, dude, you can see why you not just slitting this man's throat. I'm not understanding.
Didn't he do a demo?
He made dynamite. He recreated dynamite. But I'm like,
I'm going to be one of the other players in this next season of like, all right, well, and they kind of laid that up too, because at one point Haniwa was talking to talking to her dad, Baba Boss, saying, this is nothing. A bow and arrow is nothing. With all of the knowledge we have, we could make things that could kill how many people?
Mm-hmm.
And so there we go. We're going back into present day and leading into
why people fear what they're cited.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know how I freaking love Tamak Dejean?
Oh, thank you. I was about to bring him up.
I love him.
His transformation was
impressive. The actor, then I love it, and he actually changed his name, Christopher. He changed it from mimic to, I forget his exact last name, but to properly represent his Mexican heritage. I was like,
his transformation. As a writer, I love watching how you can
find redemption.
Villain go become an anti-hero to hero, from villain to anti-hero to straight up hero.
Mm-hmm.
The writing gymnastics they have to do to pull that off and sell it impresses me.
He came out of the corner in the dark, in the jail cell. I was like, oh. Like you should. You see me geeking out with the facial expressions that happen over here. I'm like, there's nobody to hit and tell.
Yeah, I really like his character because it draws upon one of the aspects that I love about like what Nuri said with good writing is your ability to show like the duality of human nature, right? Like that, is there really a good guy or a bad guy, or is it really like your perspective in the story, right? Like it just yeah. Because like at first I was like, oh, this dude, like he's gonna be the villain, and I was like, oh man, here he comes, damn witch hunter. But then
you feel for him because you found out
yes,
that the queen drowned his family.
right.
She drowned. She killed them. So it's like
That was crazy.
I know. And then like he is still like so loyal to her, like he was even gonna off himself, right? Like because he's like, well, my time is over. I've served it. Let me.
Hey, here Paris goes saving him. Paris, I'm gonna need you to stop saving people. I'm gonna need you to stop saving people. And that man want to die, let him die. Damn, Paris.
Oh yeah. But I was thinking more so of from the first season when he was like standing on the edge of the dam, right? And to me, like it wasn't. It gave me the vibes of like a samurai, right? Like if I can no longer, serve as my warrior, let me end my life, right? Like that was the vibes that I got from that particular scene. Yeah, seppuku. That's right. Yeah,
they must have deliberately put this many Japanese influences in, because even when I looked up that phrase that was in Maori, there was another clip that referenced the swordsmanship. That was a very specific scene. A samurai movie. That's a very specific sword scene, and that they recreated it. And like, there's someone who had that influence to put all that in there. I mean, the Japanese names, you have the garb, even in the second season, his armor,
looked like that. And he looked like that on the bridge where he was about to fight his brother.
Yes,
standing there just like that, sideways. You can see. He's like true samurai. He's like, please don't make me fight. Please don't make me fight.
Right. Yes.
I just got chills. Yep, I just got chills.
Yeah. And whoever, as a Marine, we study warfare. It's our job, it's our duty to study warfare. Because warfare is an ugly business. But the side effects, I know somebody in the chat was like, oh, he's scaring me a little. As Marine Corps infantry, this is who we have. This is the price of freedom. See, people don't understand that. Everybody wants the turkey, but don't nobody want to wring its neck.
Yes.
So, and what impressed me, I mean, we talking Sun Tzu's The Art of War. The way they chose that battlefield in the end of season 2 to bottleneck the enemy to where their numbers count for nothing, because they were outnumbered. So they had to choose a battlefield. If you can choose the battlefield, the numbers don't matter. And Baba Voss and Tamak Dejean chose well.
Yeah,
war strategy.
And to watch them feed off each other when they were fighting. That's what I was waiting for, to see Baba Voss and Tamak Dejean fight together. But it took all the stuff that went on in season 1. It took all of that stuff to build up to that event. If you don't build up to that event properly, nobody's going to care. But they wrote it well. They built up to that event well. And watching them two fight together was a sight to see. And the different trappings that they use to factor in that they're blind. They can't see. They know they're outnumbered. So they set their traps accordingly. And it was impressive. That was an impressive battle scene.
Yep, you know it. Then the rocks, he pulling the rock down to... I'm like, I didn't even realize that was ice.
Exactly.
And then you have the ropes, and then the jingling, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll plan this well. You can't see, but you plan.
And I tell you, that was very Lord of the Rings to them when all the clans showed up to fight with them.
Yes.
That was so Lord of the Rings of them.
We stand with Baba Voss.
Yes.
So you see all these people come to stand with Baba Voss. That man's not going to be subservient to nobody.
Oh, hell no. Yeah,
that guy's like Conan. He going to find his own kingdom.
Here's part of the eerie, everything is connected and bigger picture message. In the first season, they're going when the kids are learning and they're looking at an atlas, and she says, look, I'm looking at an atlas and this river runs into this one called the Mississippi.
Mhm.
And then Pittsburgh, and so they're discussing Pittsburgh. So this goes from, okay, you've got Lord of the Rings moments, totally. You have Game of Thrones moments, totally. But then you have moments of there aren't really superpowers, even though Paris really, that she's got extra powers. You already know that.
Yeah, she's a seer. She can see. She's a seer.
Right, but overall, this isn't like a superpowers movie. Okay,
No,
so you're real people. So you really have the feeling of all those other worldly ones that we've seen mixed in with going backwards a little bit to more medieval feel. But this is our territory in North America that it's happening. Okay, so that brings your body all the way back to, wait a minute, this is actually really possible.
Someone said they hope the show doesn't have a Game of Thrones moment. The finale, the final season of Game of Thrones.
That's a whole show in itself. Oh my God.
Can you imagine? Oh.
Yeah. No. Please don't.
Environmentalists must love this movie. I don't know why they're not highlighting it. Like that scene where they first meet Boots, and you basically
he was useless. He might have been good in season 1, but season 2, I'm like, I'm glad they killed you because he was useless. He was useless.
It was just, that was the only botched thing I thought about the show. Was like, okay, that was kind of a wasted character. I mean, I didn't even understand his purpose. I was like, okay, so he was here. He didn't make that much of an impact. Then you killed him. I was like, okay.
Well, the only thing that I was thinking of as you say that, Nuri, is that what about the whole conversation about her jewelry? Meaning, sort of gave a little nugget of why she had a trinket that was so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also gives them a little bit more of a nugget that there are more than just the two of them as far as jewelry.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think those are the two things that I got out of that. But then he was annoying, and with that actor, I feel like he's played an annoying character before.
Yeah. And I liked him in other stuff. When he was in Legends of Tomorrow and the Flash.
Right. But this role wasn't good for him.
No, it wasn't.
Season 1 was okay, but season 2, I'm like, you're useless. You're dead. Okay, fine, good. I'm glad, because if you prolonged it, you was gonna irritate me for real, and I just didn't want to be bothered.
Again, the queen came. She strikes again.
Oh my God! I'm like, if y'all, I guess for storytelling, they keep her around. But I'm like, man, if y'all don't kill her already and be done with it, you see she ain't no good.
I know. Again,
Game of Thrones has taught me not to love characters because they will be lost and killed. So I'm prepared. Prepared. I will be hurt, but then I still have hope. Like, Toad's not coming back, so that I already know.
Stop them! Stop it! Just stop! Stop! Trigger warning! Stop. I was so mad. No! Oh, that's my man.
I was wondering what happened to that big dog of hers. Isn't that a Leonberger that she had in season 1, the queen? She had that enormous...
Probably drowned when she killed the city.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that was a big no. Yeah.
She's evil. She's so evil.
Uh-oh. Lost Nuri. So I guess, okay, here's maybe a kind of question that will lead us towards the end. I guess, who was your favorite character and why? I know it's a hard question because there's a lot to love.
God, I have a favorite couple, and which is Toad and Paris. And
yes.
And then, as much as I love Baba, I would have to say Tamak June. I would have to say him because he found redemption, and he was like, once he knew that his princess was alive, it's like it was all about saving her, no matter what.
Totally crazy you said that, because I mean, obviously, we talked about Jason Momoa and his expressions and the emotional portion. So he definitely got me in certain scenes. But when I was just rewatching, yeah, you know which scene I got, had that little choked up moment was when he kneeled before Magra. When they were reunited, like when he said, "I hear a dead woman's voice," right? And then when he just went right down before her. It was like that respect, and like he's supposed to be loyal to Crazy Woman, and that moment was just so genuine of like respect, all of that, that loyalty. It's just the way he went down. It was like, oh. that got me, and it was just that from that's sort of that point where things changed for him. But he still obviously has an awful past. I love him. So yeah.
Nuri, you're back.
Yeah, I'm
We're
back.
doing favorite characters.
Oh, okay.
Who's your favorite?
Man. Man, because
Okay, so let me tell you, I had my favorite couple, and then the Witchfinder was my favorite. So, Toad and Paris was my couple, and then
believe it or not, because we just got to set Jason Momoa aside, because Baba Voss spoke more to me than any other character.
Yeah.
But I have to say Tamak June, because
he's all of ours. He was all of ours.
Watching his transformation was impressive. I was like, wow, the writers really did a really good job with that.
But who I was loving was I loved watching was Bo Lion, the Shadow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Zero. I mean, when I have to see who this person is, because if I don't really remember them, just from another production, that they stuck with me. And watching her again in season 1 when she's the Shadow and watching her move and all of that is just. And the premise behind the shadows, I was captivated by her because I thought she was just so interesting to watch.
And she was so badass in season 2. Oh my gosh, she's a leader. She is a leader. Another thing I liked about the show is I love when the show has a strong female presence without it being forced as an agenda.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you write the characters right, they'll be strong. You don't have to go out of your way to make a point that, well, I got to do this and make these men over here look weak so that this female character can stand out. You don't have to do that. Just flesh the characters out. Sarah Connor was badass because she was fleshed out well.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go out your way to say, well, because you saw how timid she was in Terminator 1. Then she hit the gym and totally transformed for Terminator 2. And Terminator 2 is the greatest sequel ever created.
And you saw that with Margra.
Yeah,
you saw that with Margra when she was kicking ass and she was able to use that.
Exactly. Yeah, just good writing to be able to, and T2. The reason why it was the greatest was because from one movie to just the second movie, you had to transform the greatest villain into the greatest hero, and to transform the most timid woman to an alpha female. And James Cameron pulled that off beautifully. So
I was impressed. I mean, obviously I love her anyways, but it was interesting that you mentioned female representation, again, and strength without, it being in the right way is Charlotte. Olivia Chang. So out of all the names, how she named Charlotte.
Yeah.
But she was funny. But notice how she had a more of a quirky character, But then you heard more from her, like she's protective, she's doing her job.
Yep.
And but she still had her own style, which was a nice little like change. And I can just imagine all the shit talking that must have been on the set. I mean, just the fun that they must have had with a lot of them. And Jason Momoa gets to say,
maybe because you talk too much. And
then seeing her, and again, Warrior, I mean, seeing all these actors put right back in something, I mean, it's fabulous. It's fabulous.
Yeah, as soon as I saw those two characters, I was like, oh, Jonathan Tropper's involved in this, you know, like yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Hunley. Come on.
Yeah,
that's a Massachusetts Asian. Like,
yes,
good things do come out of Massachusetts. No, everybody dogs Boston. I'm like, there's so many things happening in Boston. Okay. She's coming up to say hi. Come here. Up. Come here.
She's like, I want to be the star of the show. Aw, puppy. Hi.
We can still be friends, Stephanie, even though you're from Boston, you know.
Right. She's like, she's thinking over there.
New York.
That's true. I love it.
You know we hate each other. You know we do.
I'm not going to New York.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious because it's been that way. Like, again, I mean, there's so many people I know who have moved from here to New York, move back. It goes back and forth. It's like the redheaded, stepchild or the two siblings. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. One last question, then we'll close it out. What was your favorite moment of the series?
Jason's speech at the end, or I should say Baba Voss's speech at the end, when he was riling up the crowd.
Yeah.
And his brother was like, Baba, you knew that was his brother.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite moments. Just one of them.
Yeah.
But just the conversation between Toad and Paris was another one that's a heartfelt, that grabbed at my heart for real.
Mm-hmm. Stephanie's thinking hard. It is. There is a lot, yeah.
Like strategically, and as far as a badass scene, watching it again, that first scene, the mechanical, I'm not an architect, but the techie portion of my brain, the mechanical portion of my brain, thinking about the rocks, thinking about everything that happened in that scene, even down to when they were, and this is the first scene of the series, really, the first big scene of this entire series, from when the Alchemy are heading down, the warriors, they're held up by string, right, by rope, and they're leaning over, going down to the Witchfinders to attack them. That whole portion reminded me of, don't laugh, the Wall movie with it's from Boston, but the one that's supposed to take place on the Great Wall.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Oh, okay.
Brother. I knew his brother. I'm like, how could I forget his name? But did you guys ever see that movie? Because it's just old, and that those scenes where you have the warriors coming down like that, and they're literally hanging like that vertically and going, but then thinking about that being done blind.
I know, right?
So that is, I think, really that was one of the real geek out moments for me. All of that happening, and also digesting that these people are supposed to be blind, and then all the little things that happen, and then when he all of a sudden says, "Clear the wall."
Yes.
Yeah.
I was done. I think that scene, that was just that it was that impactful. Like, I can't digest everything that just happened. I loved it.
Yeah.
And both that first scene was one of my favorites.
Oh, and that's where again, because deep down, I'm really like, a warrior in training.
I know that's right. Yeah, I know that's right.
Yes.
The warehouse scene when he went to go get his kids, that was the most impressive. When you first saw him fight his old slaver buddies, he had to kill every last one of them for his family.
Yes.
That was
impressive. And what did he say? He said,
I don't want you to see, because I don't want you to see me do this.
Yes.
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 Yes. And then like the way that scene ended where Hanua essentially saves him, but she sees, obviously she had to see it, right? Like,
yep.
And then him realizing that like, oh shit, one, I almost died, and two, my daughter saved me, but then three, like she just saw everything that I did.
And rewind, because when he was about to walk in there and he said, I know this place. And he said, I buried that part of me and I'm doing what I never thought I was going to do and wake it up. And that's when I heard that emotional pitch in his voice. I was like, ooh.
And that is why that's my favorite scene.
Yeah.
That whole episode, Lena, because he didn't want to have to do it, but he knew what he had to do for his family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, me and Moana had that conversation all the time, because things, get so rough, in society. And, like we had the podcast where all the veterans, we were on there. A couple of guys I served with were on there. And I tell all the time, I pray that you never have to witness that side of me doing what I got to do to protect you. I pray that you never have to witness that, because things get ugly out here. So, and you have to be able to protect your family. I'm big on protecting my family, but she understands because her dad was a Vietnam vet.
Yep.
So she understands. I'm glad she understands, but I always pray that I never have to use what I know to protect you, because even though I'm protecting you, you would probably never see me the same if you had to witness me do that. So, so I can tell. So I really related to that scene. That's why that's my favorite.
Yeah, because to that point too, like my dad used to talk like that as well, and it would be like, it would kind of scare me a little bit, but then like at the same time, I know that like it's a reality, right? Like if it comes to like, if it's that bad and it's you or the other person, it's a survival thing, like it's not, at that point, it's not good or bad. There is no good or bad. It is who's gonna make it out of here,
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's a scary place to think that, if things do come down to that, I don't think that's something that most people, at least in this country, are ready for.
They're not.
Yeah, because we've never had to deal with that on the home front. Well, at least not in this time, right? Like,
I'm gonna go hide out. I'll be hiding out in the jungle on the Big Island.
You're gonna go commune with Madame Pele.
If she does me in, I'm fine with that.
You're right.
I'm happier with that. I'm much happier. Oh, and of course, what T-shirt arrived? But okay, my Moana Nui Podcast T-shirt is on the Big Island, so I wasn't wearing that. But what T-shirt arrived so that I had to wear it?
Oh, I love it. How Nani Petras, yeah.
It's just so funny because
she passed, right?
Yeah.
But it's like,
that's a big loss for the movement. Yeah.
I liked her though. She was real. She
didn't bullshit. Yeah, that's.
But meanwhile, I'm like, oh my God, see, this is why people end up thinking I'm Hawaiian. I'm like, okay, the profile, I swear. Badass women.
Yes.
I love her.
Oh man. Awesome. Oh well, I can't wait till season 3. I don't know when we're gonna get a season 3. I don't even know if they went to production or whatever, but I'm really excited.
No, he's doing Aquaman right now.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
that's right.
The first images look really good.
Oh, but speaking of the Moana. So, with the whole TMT, try having a friend of mine who's actually from here, who did finally move over to Big Island. She and her daughters went up to the Moana when he was there. Okay.
Oh, how cool.
You had the Rock who showed up first, then you had, Jason who shows up. That was obviously, I could go on and on. It's not really but again, that was very impactful. Next thing you know, the next day I get a text message from my friend's daughter. I got to give Jason Momoa a hug. My mom thought you would want to know that.
It is a good hug. I can attest.
It was just the cutest thing. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then you saw the pictures when he was up there and he's towering over everybody.
He's massive, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he was great when he came here to Kamapalooza. I was like, oh my God, Jason, can I have your autograph, please? He signed. I first fell in love with him when he played Ronan on the Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah.
So I have a picture of all of the characters on Stargate Atlantis, and Taylor, she signed it, and then I gave hits to him, and he signed it, and I'm like, okay, I got to get the other people to sign it. And he was like, oh, you met her? And I was like, yeah, she's so cute, and she can sing. And I bought her little CD, and he was like, yeah, she can sing. And we had a good conversation. I was like, oh my God,
he's really down to earth. Yeah.
Simone.
He's a big kid. Like,
Simone.
it just picks me up. He's a big kid.
You a Stargate Atlantis fan?
Oh, of course.
Okay, because I was a big Ronan Dex fan. So I'm glad you brought that up. You saw what happened in season 2 of C. You got 3 Stargate Atlantis alumni on that show. 3 of them.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice that.
Ito's the elder, the main elder that's always talking to Ito.
Yes, that's the one that I need to get.
That's Joe Flanagan.
Yes.
Yeah. Stargate Atlantis.
Yes.
The plot twist at the end of the season finale with the demo, where he goes at the end of the last episode of season 2, where he goes out and shows them talking about how he recreated dynamite. And did you see the finale?
Yeah, where the guy that was standing next to him.
Yeah, the blind guy. The black dude took him out there and blew up them 3 huts.
Yeah,
the blind dude that he was showing the explosives to, and the blind dude was like, "You better impress me." That's the Stargate Atlantis. That's the doctor from Stargate Atlantis.
Okay, I have to go back and look. I have to go back and look.
All 3 Stargate Atlantis main stars are in season 2.
Yeah, the council, one of the council leaders, he's the one that I have to get in. He only goes to Chicago. He doesn't come to Houston. So I have to, and I'm like, I'm not going to Chicago to see you, dude. Just somehow we're going to get together, and I'm going to get you to sign this picture. But
yes.
Yeah, that's when I fell in love with him. I was like, oh my God, Ronan is so cool. And then from there, I saw him on the Game of Thrones. I was like, wait, that's Ronan. I didn't even know his name. I just called him Ronan. I was like, oh, so I watched Game of Thrones because of him.
Yes.
And became a Game of Thrones fan because of him. I was like, dude, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have watched that show.
Crazy tangent that this is just a little piece of trivia that I'm really wondering about. And I don't know anyone who knows. And it just could be an anomaly. But I kind of wonder why. Okay, so Lisa changed her name to Lily Moon, his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for real? Okay.
But Moana, she spells it Lilakoi. It's not spelled. So I'm just really curious, like, what made her pick it? And this is before they were together, and it's not spelled Lili. It's spelled Lila. So there's no other word that I found in existence when I do Google searches. So I'm just wondering why she picked a different spelling. It's just, that little curiosity.
It's probably like one of those things where like you take a name and you put your own twist on it. I can't think of an example on it, but just, just to make it like your own.
Me, sometimes what I'll do CY just to fuck people over. just to mess with them. I'll do SY or I'll do CY, just to screw with them. Yeah. They're like, how do you say your name? It's like, well, it's supposed to be Simone. There's a hyphen on the E, but trying to get y'all to do all of that is just a lot. So
Simone.
Like, yeah.
Okay. I said Simone, my bad.
Accent aigu. Isn't that the accent?
The hyphen on the. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like Beyonce, Simone.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, got it.
En
Yeah.
français, c'est accent aigu.
And it's French. My whole name's French.
Oh, okay.
That's why it makes sense. Quand tu parles français.
Well, I don't know. Well, she named me after Nina Simone, so all I know is that.
I love Nina Simone.
Yeah.
I
life story, y'all.
Old rusty French. But I love that. Simone. So now I'll say it right.
Yeah, that's I actually like that better. It's very pretty. Awesome. Well, ladies and gents, I think that's a good place to end it for now.
This was fun, guys. Where's my rings? I gotta.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Come here. This was fun.
No, wait.
This was fun.
Just like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let us pray. Oh man.
Yeah.
So hopefully it won't be too long until we get season 3. Excited to see where they take it whenever that does happen.
We will be back.
Cropper's busy. He's got to have Warrior season 3 too.
Yeah, they just kicked off.
Did they just start production?
I think they just started production.
Shut the He's been posting a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Where's my sword? Listen, okay? I'm working on my kicks, and the fact that I met Perry.
Yes.
And it was just so funny because, of course, I had this total bullshit move. I mean, it was when we did a picture. But it was so much fun because 3 of us are all like in this Charlie's Angels poses or something. But then when I started posting the Muay Thai classes, Simone, see now I know how to say it right. Where are you? Am I getting close? I need to be part of halfway. Okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, and he's like, getting better. Your form's getting better. I'm like, yes. So in my dreams, I really am still that little kid who's going to be in that. I'm going to be in Warrior season 3 somehow. We're just going to keep this going.
Okay. Okay, so quick wish list for me on Warrior 3. I hope they go back and I hope we see Young Jun's love interest again. Please.
You guys on that, did you guys ever see I'm on that Hop This Way? So we Ryan, All Things Geek. This is the second time and only the second time out of 2 that I actually have been on a live stream about a series. So this is a lot of fun. So I love it. Well, he does a Warrior stream, and it's, we did season 1. That thing we started in the spring. So we need to do season 2. But because he actually was connected, I think some Actors Guild, whatever, that, somehow he's connected. He has some contacts for some of the actors. We got Rachel, who plays Juan Kea, his love interest. We had her on the stream. So we're sitting there telling her, and it was such a love story. And so we got to talk to her directly. It was so much fun. So yes, they need to bring back Juan Kea.
Yes.
I haven't seen that. I need to put that on my watch list.
Girl.
Where is that
Yeah, you gotta see Warrior.
Okay. I've got so many shows that I still have not watched yet.
So put this one at the top. I promise it will not disappoint you.
It won't.
Banshee.
Where is it on?
You gotta watch Banshee first. Watch
Banshee.
Banshee. Have you seen Banshee
first?
No.
Okay,
I have to watch Banshee before I watch Warrior.
Well, yes, no.
No, not really, but there's a reason. Because the love of Toad comes from Banshee.
Yes. Like once you see him in Banshee, you will understand.
Warrior.
Okay, and they're both on HBO Max.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone needs to experience his role in Banshee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I will watch it.
Good and Banshee.
No one like it. No one. And
I don't know, but I will report back to you that I've watched it. I will report back to you. I will let you know.
Yes.
Because
I will do
everyone
that.
just purely for my own sanity, I go and find a picture of Job,
Yes.
his character, because
Job.
he's just everything. He's everything.
Sis,
So
yeah,
now
you're gonna
this is like
love.
Jonathan Chopper can do no wrong for me ever.
Yes, you're gonna love Job. He will give you so much life. Like, oh my god.
Okay.
Rob, it's a pretty brutal series. Like
It is.
you're gonna get it. Like now that I've experienced more Jonathan Chopper. Like
Yes.
I think back to when my ex and I got hooked on Banshee.
Banshee.
He would say to me, "Is there another episode? Is there another?"
Mhm.
Yes.
You're gonna be
Anytime I
hooked.
see Chopper, I'm like, I'm watching that. I don't know what it is, but you got me. I'm coming. You know.
Mhm.
Okay.
I
Banshee Warrior. I will watch it.
Yes,
Yeah.
sis, yes, and then we can. Oh man, I feel like we need to do a Banshee. Like, whoa.
Like there's one scene I am traumatized over. I will never forget that scene.
Which one? Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm lost, but I need to see it. So
Yeah, you
But
will-
okay.
that's why, because you don't know who it is, you have no idea, but that they both knew exactly which scene I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Okay,
Because
so when I see that scene, I'm gonna reach out to you, Stephanie. Be like,
That
I
was
see
my
this
man.
scene.
I was disturbed.
I see this scene.
Oh my god. I can't look at that actor the same way again.
I love him.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
See, now you're gonna make. I'm gonna go on a Banshee binge this weekend.
All of a sudden, there's going to be this renewed activity watching Banshee.
Yes, they're gonna be like, "Who's trying
Indeed.
this?" Right here.
Yes, you'll be hooked. Yeah, see,
And then we can talk about it.
exactly. See, now we have a follow-up discussion.
That's right. We talk about that, and then when Warrior 3 is ready, then we can do an episode by episode Warrior season 3. That'll be fun. Yes, absolutely. Ooh, maybe we can get Perry to come back on because he was on the show. Yes, he's so fun.
He's just a trip. Oh, but so I met him in DC, and first of all, I don't want to assume that he's going to recognize me because we're connected on social. But I mean, it's Perry, but he's also cool as shit. So you don't really know, and I don't ever want to be that fangirl, even though it's Father John. Okay.
Yeah.
So he waved me down, because he's talking to some people. I'm like, I don't like ever being that person. He's the one who waved me down, and I'm like, okay, I love you. No, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
But did you guys ever see my tweak out moment about in the Warrior group?
Mm-mm.
So for relating to Perry. So went to binge watch season 1 of Warrior a second time, and all of a sudden all the credits are going across the screen, right? In the beginning. And for those of us with the Asian names, you see someone's Anglo name and you can tell that they're sounding out the person's name. So they're really trying to sound out Simone when they're picking characters. They're just trying to find the closest thing. Okay. So really, this is why no one should ever ask someone to sound out something in Chinese, because that's when everybody has something that is stupid. They have no idea what it means. That's not how Chinese works. And Chinese was actually, the Chinese characters were taken by Japanese. So anyway, so you've got Asian people with a bunch of Asian characters. You've got Anglo names with really long ones because it's not correct, right? I know, my long ass story. But all of a sudden, Perry's name goes by. What's Perry's last name?
Young.
U-N-G. But the character is this one that I have tattooed on me because it's my last name, Yong. So Harry and I are both Yongs. His is just YU and mine is YO. And that means we come from a very specific spot in China. And I sent him a DM like, wait a minute. Like, I've never met anybody else with my last name outside of my mother, my sister, and my grandfather. And he said, this was a very specific clan. And my father went back, my brother went back and found the place that we're from and has a picture of the gate. So when I met both of them at that in DC, the brother took my arm and said, wait, what? And his brother took a picture of my arm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like that much of a geek out, because that's how rare it is that we are coming from the same clan in China, that I just got that reaction from Barry's brother.
See, and that's why I love tattoos so much, because like, yeah, man, it makes it easier for you to find your people. Like, especially the Hawaiian ones. Like, if you, like I when I got mine done, one of my aunties was like, "Oh my God," she was like, "So and so had this one." And like you identify with the symbols, right? And like being able to like unify around your people is just amazing.
Yeah, they messed up mine, the one that I had. They messed it up.
Oh,
it's supposed to be justice, but they messed it up. I'm missing a little line.
You could always have it, adjusted.
Yeah. It's this. They got to put a little that tea leak or a little dick on there to go.
Someone like me, something good.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me tell you, Chinese is a pain in the ass, and that's why I was never. Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard as shit.
Yeah, that's a language I'm not trying to learn.
I hear that. Alrighty, guys. Well, we hit in about 10, so I know it's such a good conversation. But thank you all both so much, or all of you both. I say both because you're not like my husband and I are like together in the same house. But yeah, thank you for coming on for the conversation. Thank you to everybody who's still hanging in with us for this really awesome show. Let us know what you thought about it. This is going to be a new kind of, I think probably monthly segment, maybe. I don't know. We'll see, depending on what like next series we want to talk about, because there's so many to talk about. But it was something that Dana and we wanted to do, to have like a fun, geeky pop culture kind of component to the show as well. So thank you all so much. Yes.
Right at home.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. So thanks again for coming. For those who are still with us, please follow, share this segment if you enjoyed it, so that other people can check it out. Give us a subscribe or a follow on YouTube and Twitch. Hey, Grogu! Oh man, that's coming.
Baby Yoda.
Yes, that's
It's a little Bluetooth speaker.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love it. Look at you.
I'm such a dork.
I know. I need more Grogu. I want all the Grogus. And that's a whole other show, because don't get me started, because I'll go off on another tangent. But
there's so many shows that we could be doing, right?
I know. Oh, we could do Boba Fett. Yes.
Ming Na and oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Okay, let's do Boba Fett. And,
oh my God.
When it starts, and then we'll figure out like what date is that? Do we know what day of the week that one comes on?
Well, it's gonna be Wednesday.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Because then the show's on Thursday, so we could talk about it on Thursday.
Yeah, that's on Disney. They put it on Wednesdays. Yes, it'll be on a Wednesday.
Okay. Then we could probably do it on a Thursday. Yes. Okay, cool. We will do that. Alrighty, guys. Yeah, so follow the Moana Nui Podcast, guys, on YouTube and Twitch, and our Facebook page as well. But Facebook be faking with the algorithms. So definitely Twitch is probably the strongest for us. And then again, I'll plug our project one more time. The Adventures of Nakoa and Nohea, Shadows of the Ancient. Amazing artwork by Ryan Robinson, story by myself. We definitely appreciate your support. Every little bit counts. We're heading into the last 2 weeks of the campaign, and we still have quite a ways to go. I think we can do it, though. So go to moanatheauthor.com to check out the project. you got questions, let us know. And we appreciate all the support you guys have for us. Oh, one more thing that I didn't mention. Guys, let people know where they can follow you online. Stephanie.
I am Magical Me on Facebook, Twitter. HP Fanatics on Twitter because I'm Magical Me, the Harry Potter fan. Yeah, Magical Me is on everything except for Twitter. It's HP Fanatics.
Gotcha. Okay, Stephanie.
I'm right on Instagram. I put the tag, the long username. That is me.
Hoppa Hip Hop Hippie. And for those who don't know what Hoppa means, it means part. So like for somebody who, well, in Hawaii we say Hapa Haole, which, like if you're part white, which is what Stephanie is, Hapa. Hapa, whatever it is. Hapa Filipino, Hapa, whatever.
I hate anyone who appropriates. So it's like I have to make sure I put the Asian first because again, that's a whole other topic because I want to make sure, listen, it's funny too. So that way, everybody can have a joke on it. But that was at the beginning. I'm like, let's just be clear. I'm not Hawaiian.
Right. Yeah, that's, yes. Good distinction. Nuri?
Oh, you can follow me on YouTube at Blunt Force Media. If you follow the Moana Nui Podcast, you can definitely catch me on there. And the Burning Spear LLC on Instagram.
Awesome.
One more time on the website is Moana Author.
MoanaTheAuthor.com.
Yeah. Okay.
Moana the Author. Yes. Lots of good stuff on there. Books, digital books, audio books, spots on the podcast. You can help us sponsor schools. You can get an author visit, which is something new that I'm doing for folks like people to have me come into the classroom. Sure, you can even do a birthday party. Like I'll show up at your birthday party. We'll do some readings, do activities. I'll do like one of the things like when we were young, we used to do like the at the carnivals. They used to have like the fishing booth or whatever, and they would have this bamboo pole with a rope, and they throw it behind like a screen essentially, and then the kid would pull it back, and it would have like a toy or something or a treat at the end. So like that's something that I'm visualizing. Like, hey, let's do a birthday party, and that could be a fun activity. So lots of good things to see on there, and also opportunities to help us donate books as well too. So check it out. I'm about to drop the swag this weekend, so I gave some previews of like slippers and shirts for kids, like kid art, and it's just the team that's working with us is really amazing, and so we really appreciate the support for the book, but also the craft of the artists who are, working alongside with us. Yep. Alrighty, guys. Well, I will leave it there. Thank you for tuning in again. Have a great rest of the week, and we will see you next. Let's see. I think next Thursday we're doing replays, but for the Power Rangers. So if you're a Rangers fan, check in with us next Thursday for some awesome interviews.
Yellow Ranger.
Yes. That's right, Karen Ashley. But for now, take care, everybody. Be good to one another, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Peace, guys. Bye.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves a republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand,
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. We will.
So if you put Hawaii in a perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place, multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation, colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. We will.